Can music really impact your workout? There's a wealth of exploration on the impact of music on exercise, but can music really impact your workout? In other words, is there any great benefit in grabbing a brace of the stylish handling headphones if you want to ameliorate your performance? Well, some of the results are relatively remarkable. Over the once 2 decades, scientists have been busy probing the influence of music on workout performance, and they've set up considerable benefits. Music can appreciatively affect your mood, drop perceived trouble, increase abidance, and make athletes more effective when it synchronizes with their movements. While hearkening to music, people have been suitable to run further, cycle for longer, and swim briskly. And yet there are caveats. Important depends on the position of an athlete's capability, the length of a workout, and the intensity of the exercise, but there are numerous earnings to be had from hearkening to music. One of the world's commanding experts, Professor Kostas Karageorgi, author of Applying Music in Exercise and Sport, tells us just what music does when we exercise. Professor Kostas Karageorgi, sport and exercise psychologist. Professor Kostas Karageorgi is an expert in sport and exercise psychology. He's a chartered sport and exercise psychologist, British Psychological Society, chartered scientist, Science Council, and Fellow of the British Association of Sport and Exercise Laws. His scientific affair includes over 200 scholarly papers, 14 chapters in edited textbooks, and the textbook Inside Sport Psychology, Mortal Kinetics, which has been restated into Polish, Turkish, and Farsi. He has lately published an alternate textbook, Applying Music in Exercise and Sport, Human Kinetics, as well as an associated study companion. How does music influence mood during a workout? Professor Karageorgi and his platoon at Brunel University London have spent times covering the brain's response to music while people exercise. One of their studies, published in Psychology of Sport and Exercise, set up that hearkening to music led to a 28% increase in enjoyment in physical exertion, compared with hearkening to nothing. Enjoyment was also 13% advanced for actors who heeded to music, compared with those who heeded to a podcast. Meanwhile, another study showed actors who heeded to music they supposed pleasing had advanced situations of serotonin, as reported in the International Journal of Qualitative Studies on Health and Well-Being. That's the hormone which promotes positive passions. It soon becomes clear that, by boosting pleasure, music can reduce perceived trouble and make a drill feel less tough. What's more, the exploration in this area is extensive, with further than 100 studies showing on average a 10% reduction in perceived exertion in low to moderate exercise when hearkening to music. But what tunes work stylish? Well, Professor Karageorgi says hearkening to any type of music will reduce perceived trouble whether you like the music or not. Music that's arbitrarily named will reduce perceived exertion by about 8 in low to moderate intensities of exercise. Beyond the anaerobic threshold, music is generally ineffective, but well-named music can reduce perceived exertion by 12, he adds. But once someone is exercising at beyond 75 of their VO2 outside during a high-intensity drill, music is fairly ineffectual in impacting comprehensions of exertion. Can music actually ameliorate my performance? As outlined in a recent review in the Psychological Bulletin Journal, exploration suggests that music helps ameliorate sporting performance. One explanation for this is that music can help to distract from pain and fatigue, which enables people to work out for longer. According to Karageorgi, the benefits of distraction are most prominent during low to moderate intensity exercise. When you really straining in a drill, music is doubtful to distract from the fatigue. It can impact how you respond to that frazzle, though, it can actually motivate you to keep going. As well as distraction, there's another way in which music affects our sporting performance by coinciding with a beat. When you apply music in the coetaneous mode, where people purposely attend their movement pattern to the music, that can have an ergogenic or work-enhancing effect of 10 to 15, says Karageorgi. The key to hearkening to music, also, is to synchronize your movements to the beat in order to enhance energy effectiveness. In Karageorgis's studies, this metronome effect has reduced oxygen input by over to 7%. But the professor points out that these tests were conducted in sterile laboratory conditions where there's little differently to distract actors. Real-world results may differ. What tempo should I hear to? Still, also it's imperative to elect. Melodies with a tempo that corresponds to your asked movement rate, if you're using music to enhance your performance rather than simply to distract. But rather than choosing commodity with a veritably fast beat, Karageorgi recommends going for commodity with a beat that's at exactly half of your asked pace. Still, you want to run at a veritably high stride frequency of say 180 strides per nanosecond. What you might do is elect a piece of music that's rhythmically relatively busy, if for illustration. He offers this advice because hearkening to music with further than 150 beats per nanosecond can be veritably delicate to reuse, which makes it hard to maintain synchronicity. And if you're looking to put on music for provocation rather than synchronization, the exploration suggests that 120 to 140 beats per nanosecond is the sweet spot. So 120 would be suitable for a veritably low-intensity exercise exertion, similar as walking, and 140 would be suitable for a veritably high-intensity mode of exercise, similar as, for illustration, running at 80 of aerobic capacity, explains Karageorgi. What about hearkening to podcasts and other audio? Karageorgi says that studies have shown that podcasts and audiobooks will still immerse the listener and reduce perceived exertion. But it does now allow for the benefits of synchronization and any lyrical declarations. It also depends on the intensity of the drill. Still, for illustration, keeping up with a podcast and the crucial dispatches that it contains, if you suppose about the information processing that's going into, it's presumably better to do it in silence, or with some simple and beat-heavy music, suggests Karageorgi.